Hey friends, it's Kelly and welcome back to Mama Needs a Goal. So I'm guessing based on my title that you probably have a child that is ready to go off to college or one that's in high school that will soon be going off to college. So I just wanted to discuss some things that you should do and your child should do before they leave for college. So if you've been following me for a while now, then you know that my oldest just graduated from high school and is about to head off to college. You also know that I am someone who must have a plan. I have to have everything organized. I need to have everything done in advance. My anxiety goes through the roof. I need to set goals. You all know this if you've been following me. So naturally, I've been reading up on everything that I can get my hands on, just to get myself and my son prepared for this journey that he is about to embark on. So many changes are happening. And of course, I just found out that more changes are going to happen in more ways than I realized. So we're going to discuss that today. I thought many of you that are in my position would benefit from knowing this information. I'm going to be sharing some really important information, also some helpful tips, and some touchy but important conversations that you might want to have with your adult child. So, I've been doing a lot of research, as I said, and this is just some things that I stumbled upon. I have asked, veteran parents, groups that I belong in, just things that we should be ready to do or prepare ourselves for the upcoming journey these kids are going to take. But before I get started, I do want to say that I will be mentioning some companies, some websites, some apps. I have not used all of this stuff. As you know, this is all new to me, so I cannot 100% say that these are the best, but they have come highly recommended to me. I have done research. I like what I see, and I do plan on using these. I also want to state that this video is not sponsored in any way whatsoever. I am not being compensated by any of these companies. This is strictly research I've done based on my own research and suggestions and recommendations from others. So I just wanted to make that clear that I'm not being compensated in any way when I mention any of these companies. So I'm going to start with one that I think is mind-blowing. My son is now 18, and I just automatically assumed that because he's still on my insurance, I'm paying for his college, that, nothing changes. I still have the authority to make any decisions for him. But guess what? That is so not true. Not true at all. So if my adult son has an accident or if he becomes ill, incapacitated, in any way, I do not have the decision-making power. Yep, that's right, friends. Once they become 18, all of our decision-making power now transfers to them, and that goes for their financial and medical as well. We no longer are able to make those decisions for our child. I'm like mind blown. What? I just thought that I did because he was still under my insurance, but no. Yep. That's right. The authority transfers to your child once they turn 18. So there is no better time than now before they head off to college to be proactive and understand your legal responsibilities as a parent in the unlikely event that there is an emergency. A young adult power of attorney is an essential legal document that all young people really need when they reach the age of 18. Excuse me. So what does that exactly mean? What is a power of attorney? So it's a legal document that authorizes parents to make the financial, legal, and healthcare decisions on your child's behalf when they're not able to make those decisions. So before your child leaves for college, there are three main documents that you really should consider completing. Especially if your child is in another state, you want to make sure that you that state will probably need a separate document for you to make those decisions. And these forms you can get from, it's called Mama Bear Legal. I will put in the description box the link to their website. They will do all the paperwork. We'll have all the paperwork for you to complete, and they also allow you to do I believe it's one free for another state. So if you're living in one state and your child moves to another state, you have the ability to fill out paperwork for that as well. So the following information that I'm about to give you is taken directly from Mama Bear Legal Forms website. I'm just sharing that information with you. It is not my words, it is their words, and I think it's a lot easier for you to understand. And again, do your own research. I will leave the link to Mama Needs a Goal, to Mama Bear Legal documents. I do personally plan on using this, but I just want you to understand a little bit about what it is and what your rights are. So we'll quickly go over those three main documents. So the first one I'm going to go over is the health power of attorney. So what this is, it gives you the ability to make healthcare decisions if your child is incapacitated. You are allowed to make choices about who provides care for your child. It will also help you avoid the court appointing a guardian for your child. And lastly, it also gives you control on who will have the end-of-life decision making. This is a tough one to even think about, but you definitely want to make sure that you are involved and able to help make these decisions for your child. So the next one we're going to talk about is finance power of attorney. So again, just like the health power of attorney, this allows you to help manage finances such as their bank and their investments. It also allows you to handle their credit cards and their creditors. It will allow you to interact with their landlords, or landlords with their landlord and their insurance company as well. It'll allow you to handle any of the financial tasks for your deployed child if your child is overseas. And also, it'll help you manage your students' loans and their financial aid as well. And then the last document, it's called HIPAA release form. And what that is, it covers all the healthcare providers. So you'll be allowed to talk to any of their healthcare providers, and it'll allow them to share any of the information regarding your child as well. So if you have any questions, please go over to Mama Bear Legal Forms. Their site is full of information, tons and tons of information. There is a fee for it. It's $79, and there is a code MamaBear20 at checkout. I will put that up here on the screen, and that'll save you 20%. And like I said, I will put the link in the description box for Mama Bear Legal Forms. I just feel this is extremely important. You just never know what tomorrow is going to bring, and if something unfortunately would happen to your child, you don't want to be in a situation where you're not able to make decisions or help them out. So this is one of the main things that I think is important before your child leaves for college. Honestly, when your child turns 18, period, whether they're in college, the military, or still live at home or whatever, I just think it's extremely important. Okay, so the second thing on my list is FERPA, and this is kind of related to the Mama Legal Forms as well. And what FERPA is, it stands for Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. So once your child turns 18 or goes into college at any age, their educational records actually will transfer to them. That means you can no longer email the professors about their poor grades. You cannot see your students' attendance. You can't even see if they dropped out of a class and then kept the money that you paid for that class. Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? You're paying for their education, but you don't have access to it. What FERPA does, it just protects your child's education records so they remain confidential between the college and your child. You are no longer allowed to make any of those decisions regarding their academic life, period. Even if you're footing the bill, you just cannot make those decisions. So most colleges, however, there are some exceptions to the rule, especially if your child's health or safety is at risk. There are exceptions that are made, but for the most part, you do not have access to those records. Now, if your child is going to college, most colleges have, for instance, when my son registered and did all his stuff online, you can actually go to their site. They have a link that you can click on for FERPA, and your child can complete it to give you access to it. My personal opinion, if I'm paying for my child's education, he better daggone sight fill out that FERPA and give me access. If I'm not paying for it, that's a whole nother story. But if I'm paying for it, I want access to it. So my son did go in and gave us access to it. But most colleges, if it's not online, you can download the form and send it in. But your son or daughter does need to complete that form to give you access. So talk to your child. If you're paying for it, talk to your child and have that conversation with them. If you feel you need to have access to it, have them complete that form. So next up on my list is important documents. I've been hearing from a lot of people and seeing it, around on Facebook and things, that your child should take all their important documents with them, possibly get a safe to put them in. I personally am not comfortable with that. I plan to have my son take pictures of a lot of the documents. So, I don't want to send his passport with him. He has no reason to take it. He's not traveling out of the country or anywhere that he would need the passport. Also has his driver's license, which also will be his proof. Also, his social security card is not something that I want him to take with him. I am not having him take a picture of his social security card. I'm going to have him memorize that number. I just feel like if that's something that would get lost, his phone would get lost, or, the card would get lost, I would rather that not be out there in someone else's hands. Also, I'm going to have him take a picture of our medical card and our prescription card. It's very weird. I'm actually going to be calling the insurance company. We only have 2 medical cards, one for me and one for my husband. So when we take the kids to the doctors, or if they go to the doctors, I just give them the medical card. I am going to see if I can get extra medical and prescription cards. If not, I'm going to have him take a picture of it. That way he has everything right there. And, he won't need anything. I probably will also have him just, I will probably write up or type up like his doctor's name and phone number as well, just in case there is an emergency. He has that, because I know, 18-year-old boy is not going to have that information. So make sure that your child does have access to all the important documents. I'm not a big fan of sending them with them, especially ones that, could get lost and create a problem for you. So just have them take pictures of it. So just make sure that they have all the necessary documents that they're going to need when they leave off for college. And of course, speaking of all the important documents, I also think it's very important to share contact information with their roommates. Most of the kids at this point know who their roommates are. Most of them, or I know my son has, a lot of them already have created like little group chats and things like that. You definitely want to make sure that your child's roommate or roommates have a way of getting in contact with you, the parent. So for instance, if my son's playing soccer or something and he gets knocked out and he's unconscious, make sure that the roommate has a contact number for you, so if they need to rush him to the hospital, they can call you real quickly and let you know what is going on. Also, as a parent, you want to know what the numbers are to any of the nearby hospitals, the police station, campus security, maybe even the RA. Think about like when your kid was little and you used to put the little emergency contact on the refrigerator. Think about that for you as a parent. So if something would happen, you're not sure what's going on, or if you need to contact any of those agencies or whatever, you have those numbers readily available. You don't have to be, I go in panic mode trying to think, process things. You already have it on hand and you don't have to worry about it. So just have your child share contact information in case of an emergency. You as the parent be prepared. It may not hurt for you even to have your child's roommate's phone number as well, or some contact information for their parents. Not that you're going to be reaching out all the time or anything like that. It's just for emergency purposes only. I don't think boys would do this, but some of the girls might even create like a little contact, emergency contact, and put it in their dorm, like on the door or something. Maybe even list allergies if there's a roommate that has a shellfish allergy or a nut allergy and it's life-threatening. These are things that might be helpful. So just have your child reach out to their roommates and just kind of share emergency contact information. So the next thing on my list, excuse me, I've lost track of the numbers, so I'm just going with it. The next thing on my list kind of follows up on the emergency contact information is tracking. Now, before anybody comes at me, let me clarify. When I say tracking, I don't mean to track the whereabouts of your child or spy on them. This is solely for emergencies only. If something would happen and your child goes missing, this will help you see where they were at last, where they possibly could be. Please, talk to your child about this. Reassure them that you are not spying on them, that you will only use it in an emergency, because I know my son would be like, really, Mom? You need to keep your word with that. You do not need to know their whereabouts all the time when they're at college. So this is strictly for emergencies. So what my plan is I plan to have the Life 360 installed on our phones. And this way, he is not taking his car to college, but I'm sure he'll be in a car with someone at some point. If they would have an accident, or if, God forbid, something would happen and he disappeared, I will be able to track his whereabouts. Now, I have not used Life 60. I do plan to use it. I've heard good things about it. So please check that out on your own. Do your own research. I will put their link in the description box as well. And I do know that they have I believe it's 3 different plans. I'll put them up here on the screen. There is a free one, and then they have 2 more, and they offer a ton of different things. The free one, the free app, I think is pretty much all that I'm going to need for what I want it for. So that is my plan, is I plan to use the free Life 360. And staying on that same kind of thing, the next one is roadside assistance. If your child is driving to college, you want to make sure that you have some type of roadside assistance, especially if they're really far away and you can't get to them quickly. You want to be able to make sure they're safe on the side of the road. Also, I do know for me, our insurance with our roadside assistance, if I am in the car with someone and they break down and they don't have roadside assistance will come out if I call, because I am in the car with that person, and they will tow the car if need be. And it's a small radius, so it would be like to the next closest shop. So you don't really have that choice, but still it is something good to have. So if you don't have roadside assistance, or if you do, please make sure that your child knows about it. They may not know about it. You can give them the card, have them take a picture of the card, but make sure that if you have it, they know about it. If you don't have it and they're driving, please consider looking into it and possibly getting it for your child. So next up on my list is shopping for the dorm. By now you probably already have started. If not, some of you may be completed. I am done. I did do a video on what my son is taking to college. I also have a very detailed essential list. I will link that video below. I got that out before this one only because I know a lot of people wanted to start shopping for dorm essentials, and there's so much stuff out there and you don't need everything. I really talked to a lot of people. I did a lot of research and I created a list, and it is geared more towards boys, but it's very helpful still for the young ladies as well. I'm not going to go into a great deal on this one because I have a video already dedicated to it. And like I said, I'll link that video. But I did want to touch on it in this because it is important and it's something you should be doing prior to your child going to college. You really do not want to overbuy. One, it's very expensive. School itself is expensive. You don't want to overbuy. Your child is not going to use half the stuff that these essential lists say that they need. There are a lot of schools that have stores that are nearby. So for instance, I do plan on getting my son a rug. The carpet in his dorm I heard was really nasty. So I do plan on getting a rug, and I believe once we get there I'm going to make the decision, but I believe we're going to do some blackout curtains. So I'll probably do like a curtain and a tension rod. And I also believe his dorm room does not, his closet does not have a door. So we'll probably do like a shower curtain, or not a shower curtain, curtain with a shower rod, tension rod, just to give him a little bit of privacy for where his clothes and all will be. But that's a lot of stuff to fit in our car with what we're already taking. So I plan on hitting Walmart. It's not far from his school at all. So check out any of the stores that are around your college and see if there are stores that you can hit up, like Bed Bath & Beyond, Target, and any of those kind of stores, Walmart, that you can go to so you don't have to transport all of that stuff. And you remember that all this stuff that you're buying, a lot of it's in boxes and you're going to be putting it together when you get there, but all that stuff's going to have to come back home with them, and they're not going to be in boxes. You might have to take it apart to fit into the car. So keep that in mind. You do not want to overbuy. Also, a lot of schools, not all schools, you can ship things to them. You know, Amazon is my friend. I can go ahead, order what he needs. If there's anything that he needs, once he gets there, I can order on Amazon and have it shipped to him. Like I said, that's not every single school, but a good majority of the schools you can do that with. So you definitely want to just do a little bit of research about the stores that are near the school, about them getting mail and what you can ship to them. Because, you know, the smaller schools may not have that ability, but, you know, just check that out and see, because you don't want to overbuy. You also want to check out the website of your child's school. Look at their dorm room floor plan. Look at the furniture. Most of them tell you what furniture is going to be in their room. You know, whether they're going to have a desk or chair or that kind of thing. And that'll help you as well to determine, you know, if this room is really small, then you might not be able to get certain things, or you want to know, you know, most of them give you like a little floor plan with the size of the room, so that'll help like figuring out if you want to buy a rug or things like that. So make sure that you do check out their website to find out what the floor plan is, what the room is, and also what furniture comes in there. And when I say furniture, I mean like the desk and the bed, but also check to see if they can bring certain items and certain items they can't bring. So for instance, you know, my son, they can't have a microwave. So they have an option. They can rent the micro fridge. And it was a little over $200 for the entire year. So I went ahead and ordered it, and him and his roommate, we're gonna split the cost. So they both will be able to use it, and it saves us money. We don't have to worry about trying to lug a refrigerator there, so he has a microwave, and just found that that's going to be a lot easier. Also, when it comes to school supplies, purchasing school supplies and computers and things like that, You want to, like, for instance, his school, I went and looked online and saw they gave a list of types of computers that would be good for his particular major. We did find out his school is PC friendly, not Mac friendly. So I definitely want to get him a PC laptop instead of a MacBook. So it's just little things like that that you want to think about before you start shopping. And then, of course, you want to go ahead and purchase, just the standard things that they'll probably need: tape, scissors, paper clips, stapler, things like that. I do plan on waiting until my son starts classes to find out what books he's going to need. I just think that's going to save me money in the end if we wait and not purchase the books, because I'm hearing a lot of professors do not use all the books. We also are going to look at renting versus purchasing. Just things like that you want to go ahead and look at and decide whether or not you want to go ahead and purchase them ahead of time or if you want to wait. I do plan on waiting, but you do run the risk of not being able to get something if you do wait, but that's what the plan is for us. So the next thing on my list is schedule appointments. You want to try to get your child's doctor appointments, dentist appointments, ortho appointments, any kind of appointments that they might have in now before they leave for school. That way it's done. They're not stressing once they get to school and then come home for break, that you're trying to squeeze in all those appointments during their break, because they're going to want to come home, spend time with their friends, and just chill. So if you possibly can, get those appointments done now. You'll also want to look at things like expiration dates on their driver's license and passports. If that's something that you may need to go ahead and take care of prior to them leaving as well. The last thing you want is their driver's license to expire while they're at college. They don't need that headache. Go ahead and make those appointments. Of course, I know my son's going to want to get a haircut before he leaves, so we're going to make sure that we get the haircut appointment right before he leaves as well, and that way it'll be good until he comes home and then can get another appointment. So go ahead and get those appointments scheduled now if you possibly can. If you can't, you have to wait till they come home for break. Give them a day or two after being home before you make the appointments, because that's the last thing they're going to do is come home and then the next morning get up early for an 8 o'clock doctor appointment. So go ahead and schedule those appointments now before they leave. And then parents, this one's mainly for you, but also for your child. Join some Facebook groups, go out to social media, look at Instagram. For instance, my son's going to Salisbury. I have joined the Salisbury page on Instagram. On Facebook, I joined the school's page. I joined the parents page. I joined like the class of the year he graduates page. What else? Twitter. I went on Twitter. This way, if you have any questions, the Salisbury parent page is absolutely phenomenal. I had, as I mentioned, my anxiety goes through the roof. I started panicking and I'm out there asking 50 million questions, and I'm so thankful. The parents on there are so wonderful. They were answering my questions right away, reassuring me it's a great school, don't worry, just everything. So it did put a lot of my fears to rest. Also, I joined like the crime page. It's like that's in that area. I'm not sure if that was a good idea or not. I'm not sure if that was a good idea or not, because I'm seeing all kind of things that are happening. But it does allow me to know what is going on in the vicinity of where he is living. So I did join that page as well. And also, have your child join. I know that there's, have them join, obviously, the school page. Also, there are student sites too for their class and things like that, and it'll allow them to reach out, meet other people as well. I just think that's really important. Today's society, everything is social media. There's tons of YouTube channels. There's a lot of kids that vlog. their life at their school, at the university that they're at. So you can have them do a search for their school as well and just get a feel for it if they're having a little bit of anxiety before leaving. Just have them look that up. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there that really will put their mind to ease as well as yours. So just go ahead and join those social media groups for the school, and I think it will help a lot for you guys. It did for me. So finally, last but not least, the tough conversation that we need to have with our child before they leave for college. I've had these conversations with my kids already, but I plan to do it again. I think it's very important. It is not an easy conversation, excuse me, to have. It's very awkward at times, but it is extremely important that you do have this conversation with your child and let your child know where you stand on these things. It's going to be different for everybody, but I'll just kind of go over about, my thoughts on where we stand. So you want to talk to your child about the dangers of drinking and drugs. I know they've learned this in high school, and it's always, there in the social media as well, but I still think it's important to have a sit down conversation with your child. Make sure they understand that, how you feel about it. Let them know where you stand on it. And if there's going to be a consequence, even though your child is an adult, you can still give them consequences. So, for example, I've had this conversation with him many a times, and I will have it again. If you are caught drinking out in public, or if you are drinking and driving, that is one of my biggest things. He will be removed from my insurance, and I will take his car. I pay for the insurance, and I paid for that car. And I will also make him pay for his first semester of college. I will not pay for it. If he thinks it's okay to be out partying and drinking and driving, or out in public and, the police are called, there will be a consequence. Yes, he's 18, but I will have a consequence. And that's what my consequence is going to be. He will lose those privileges until I can trust him again. Just make sure that, this is very clear with your child, that they know what your expectations are. If they are drinking in the dorm, make it clear that, the school has rules. This is what their rules are, and this will happen if you're caught drinking or doing drugs in the dorm. There will be a consequence. Your child is now 18, and, in my eyes, they're still my baby, but in the eyes of the law, they're considered an adult. At 18, I don't think their brains are fully developed, and they make stupid decisions. And, we've all done it. We've all been there, but we just need to continue to talk to them about this, make them understand they're an adult now. And when they make stupid choices, they will be treated as an adult. So with that said, the next thing of that conversation needs to happen is to talk to your child about safe sex. Woo! This is one that is probably the hardest part to talk about for many, but again, I've already had this with him, and I will have it again. I want him to understand the impact it will have on his life if, a baby is involved in this. You now are committed to this child for the rest of your life, financially, emotionally, and this is something that you cannot take lightly. Encourage them not to have the S word. YouTube, I don't want to get flagged. But if he does, I want to make sure he's prepared. He knows what he's doing. He has access to protection. And of course, that leads me into the consent part of having Um, I know your child probably knows that, somebody says no, it means no. But you want to make sure it is extremely important that yes does not always mean yes. And this goes for girls too. This does go for girls too. So, for example, if the person is intoxicated, they may say yes. But if they're intoxicated, that yes means no. Your child now is 18 years old. And just because that person said yes, if they are intoxicated, they most likely will not remember. And it very well could happen the next morning when they wake up, your child may be accused of the R word. Please make sure that you have that discussion with your child. They're off on their own for the first time. Most of them are. The drinking and all, can get carried away. They're having fun. They're enjoying themselves. The hormones are going wild. But if one of the people is intoxicated and they say yes, that is still not consent. So that's a difficult conversation to have with your child. It's a very uncomfortable conversation to have with your child for many, but it is extremely important to have these conversations with your child. Whew, that was a heavy one, but most of all, you want your child to have an enjoyable college experience, and as a parent, you don't want to be sitting home worrying and stressed out all of the time. You're going to have your emotions, and your child's emotions are going to be like a roller coaster. They're going to be up and down, up and down. Your child may lash out at you at times. They may be distant from you. Please don't take that personally. That's just normal behavior from these kids when they're about to embark on something so scary. So try to give each other grace. Just try to give each other grace. And before they leave, try to spend some family quality time together. I think that's very important. You don't have to do anything over the top. Don't stress out like, we got to go do this, we got to do that. Just sitting home, excuse me, just sitting home watching a movie and having popcorn together. Going out and grabbing a snowball. Something so simple, innocent. It doesn't have to be for hours. You don't have to have this elaborate vacation or plan. You just want to spend some quality time with your child before they leave for college. So friends, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing, as it does greatly help me out. And don't forget to check me out over on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest, as well, as I'm active on all those social media sites. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and leave it in the comments. I will do my best to answer it. Like I said, I try to cover the things that have been bothering me, that I find important for myself. So there might be some other things, or if you know some other things that you think is important, go ahead and leave them in the comments section, because my viewers can absolutely read those comments, especially if you think they're going to be helpful to others. So friends, thanks so much, and keep an eye out. I will have one additional video coming out on move-in day to make things going for move-in day, how to make things go smoothly. So that will be coming out very, very shortly. So friends, thanks again, and I'll catch up with you next time. Bye.